Star Wars Episode I. The Phantom Menace is a 1999 American epic, discussed space opera film written and directed by George Lucas, produced by Lucasfilm and distributed by 20th Century Fox. It is the fourth installment in the Star Wars saga and stars Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, Ian McDiarmid, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, Pernilla August and Frank Oz. The film is set 32 years before the original film, and follows Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi as they protect Queen Amidala, in hopes of securing a peaceful end to a large-scale interplanetary trade dispute. Joined by Anakin Skywalker, a young slave with unusually inherent powers of the Force, they simultaneously contend with the mysterious return of the Sith. Filming started on June 26, 1997, at locations including Leavesden Film Studios and the Tunisian desert. Its visual effects included extensive use of computer-generated imagery. Some of its characters and settings were completely computerized and did not exist in the real world. The film was Lucas' first directorial effort after a 22-year hiatus following Star Wars in 1977. The Phantom Menace was released to theaters on May 19, 1999, 16 years after the premiere of the previous Star Wars film, Return of the Jedi. The film's premiere was extensively covered by media and was greatly anticipated because of the large cultural following the Star Wars saga had cultivated. Despite mixed reviews by critics, who tended to praise the visuals and action sequences but criticized the writing, characterization and acting, it grossed more than $924.3 million worldwide during its initial theatrical run, making it the second highest-grossing film worldwide at the time, behind Titanic. It became the highest-grossing film of 1999, the highest-grossing Star Wars film, and is currently the 17th highest-grossing film in North America unadjusted for inflation. A 3D reissue, which has earned an additional $102.7 million at the box office and brought the film's overall worldwide takings to over $1 billion. Was released in February 2012. The film was followed by two sequels, Star Wars Episode II, Attack of the Clones in 2002 and Star Wars Episode III, Revenge of the Sith in 2005. Plot: Supreme Chancellor Valorum, leader of the Galactic Republic, dispatches Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi to negotiate with the Trade Federation leadership to end a blockade of battleships around the planet Naboo. Darth Sidious, a Sith Lord and the Trade Federation's secret advisor, orders Federation Viceroy Nute Gunray to kill the Jedi and invade Naboo with an army of battle droids. The Jedi flee to Naboo, where Qui-Gon saves Gung and outcast Jar Jar Binks from being killed during the invasion. Indebted to the Jedi, Jar Jar leads them to an underwater Gungan city. The Jedi try but fail to persuade the Gungan leader, Boss Nass, into helping the people of Naboo. Though they are able to obtain transportation to Theed, the capital city on the surface, they rescue Queen Amidala, the ruler of the Naboo people, and escape the planet on her royal starship, which is damaged as they pass the Federation blockade. Amidala's ship is unable to sustain its hyperdrive and lands for repairs on the desert planet Tatooine. Qui-Gon, Jar Jar, astromech droid R2-D2, and Amidala's handmaiden Padme visit the settlement of Mos Espa to buy new parts at a junk shop. There they meet the shop's owner Wata and his 9-year-old slave Anakin Skywalker, who is a gifted pilot and engineer, and has created a protocol droid called C-3PO. Qui-Gon senses a strong presence of the Force within Anakin and is convinced that he is the chosen one of Jedi prophecy who will bring balance to the Force. Qui-Gon wages Anakin's freedom with Wata in a pod race, which Anakin wins. Anakin joins the group to be trained as a Jedi, leaving his mother Shmi behind. En route to their repaired starship, Qui-Gon enters a brief lightsaber duel with Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, a Sith apprentice who was sent to capture Amidala. The Jedi escort Amidala to the Republic capital planet Coruscant so she can plead her people's case to Chancellor Valorum in the Galactic Senate. Qui-Gon asks the Jedi Council to train Anakin as a Jedi, but the Council are concerned that Anakin is vulnerable to the dark side of the Force and decline. Undaunted, Qui-Gon vows to train Anakin himself. Meanwhile, Naboo Senator Palpatine persuades Amidala to make a vote of no confidence in Valorum to elect a more capable chancellor to resolve the crisis on Naboo. Though she pushes for the vote, Amidala grows frustrated with the corruption in the Senate and decides to return to Naboo with the Jedi. On Naboo, Padme reveals herself to the Gungans as Queen Amidala and persuades them into an alliance against the Trade Federation. Jar Jar leads his people in a battle against the droid army while Padme leads the hunt for Gunray and Theed. In a starship hangar, Anakin enters a vacant starfighter and inadvertently triggers its autopilot, joining the battle against the Federation droid control ship in space. Anakin ventures into the ship and destroys it from within, deactivating the droid army. Meanwhile, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan battle Darth Maul, who mortally wounds Qui-Gon before being bisected by Obi-Wan. As he dies, Qui-Gon asks Obi-Wan to train Anakin. Subsequently, Palpatine is elected as the new Supreme Chancellor and Gunray is arrested. The Jedi Council promotes Obi-Wan to Jedi Knighthood and reluctantly accepts Anakin as Obi-Wan's apprentice. At a festive ceremony, Padme presents a gift of appreciation and friendship to the Gungans. Cast: Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon Jinn, a Jedi Master and mentor to Obi-Wan. When he discovers Anakin, he insists that the boy be trained as a Jedi despite the Jedi Council's protests. Lucas originally wanted to cast an American actor in the role, but cast Irishman Neeson because he considered that Neeson had great skills and presence. Lucas said Neeson was a master actor, who the other actors will look up to, who has got the qualities of strength that the character demands. Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi, Qui-Gon's young Jedi apprentice. He holds Qui-Gon in high regard but questions his motives at times. McGregor was cast from a short list of 50 actors, all of whom had to be compared to pictures of young Alec Guinness, who portrayed the elderly Obi-Wan, to make a believable younger version. McGregor had a vocal coach to help his voice sound closer to Guinness. He also studied several of Guinness' performances, from his early work and the Star Wars movies. Natalie Portman as Queen Padme Amidala. Amidala, the 14-year-old Queen of Naboo, hopes to protect her planet from a blockade by the Trade Federation. Over 200 actors auditioned for the role. The production notes stated, the role required a young woman who could be believable as the ruler of that planet, but at the same time be vulnerable and open. Portman was chosen especially for her performances in Elia N. The Professional and Beautiful Girls, which impressed Lucas. He stated, I was looking for someone who was young, strong, along the lines of Leia, and Natalie embodied all those traits and more. Portman was unfamiliar with Star Wars before being cast, but was enthusiastic about being cast as a character she expected to become a role model. Portman said, it was wonderful playing a young queen with so much power. I think it will be good for young women to see a strong woman of action who is also smart and a leader. Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, a 9-year-old slave boy and a skilled pilot who dreams of becoming a Jedi. Hundreds of actors were tested before the producers settled on Lloyd, who Lucas considered met his requirements of a good actor, enthusiastic and very energetic. Producer Rick McCallum said that Lloyd was smart, mischievous and loves anything mechanical, just like Anakin. Ian McDiarmid as Senator Palpatine, Darth Sidious, a senator of Naboo who is eventually elected Chancellor of the Republic. McDiarmid was surprised when Lucas approached him 16 years after Return of the Jedi to reprise the role of Palpatine because he had assumed that a younger actor would play the part in the prequel films. Pernilla August as SHMI Skywalker, Anakin's mother who is concerned for her son's future and allows him leave with the Jedi. August, a veteran of Swedish cinemas, was chosen after auditioning with Liam Neeson. She was afraid of being rejected because of her accent. Frank Oz voices Yoda, the centuries-old leader of the Jedi Council who is apprehensive about allowing Anakin to be trained. Yoda was mostly portrayed as a puppet designed by Nick Dudman based on Stuart Freeborn's original design. Oz controlled the puppet's mouth and other parts were controlled by puppeteers using remote controls. Lucas fitted Yoda's filming around Oz's schedule as he finished and promoted in and out. A computer-generated Yoda is featured in 2 distant shots. Warwick Davis portrays him in the scene in which Obi-Wan becomes a Jedi Knight. Lucas said he originally wanted to use a full-time digital Yoda, but the attempts did not work well enough. On the Blu-ray release of The Phantom Menace, which was also used for the 3D reissue, a CG Yoda similar to the one from the other prequels is used instead. Oliver Ford Davies as C.O. Bibble, the governor of Naboo. Hugh Quashie as Captain Panaka, Queen Amidala's chief of security at Theed Palace. Ahmed Best as Jar Jar Binks, a clumsy Gungan exiled from his home and taken in by Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Best was hired after Gerland saw him on a stomp performance in San Francisco. Best was originally intended to provide motion capture data, but his offer to voice the character was accepted. On the set, to provide references for the actors, Best was clothed in a suit made of foam and latex and a headpiece. Best's filmed performance was later replaced with the computer-generated character. Best frequently improvised movements to make Jar Jar look as clumsy and comedic as possible. Anthony Daniels voices C-3PO, a protocol droid built by Anakin. He lacks a metal covering in this film. R2-D2 refers to it as being naked. A puppeteer dressed in a color closely matching the background, in a manner similar to the Japanese puppet theater Bunraku, manipulated a skeletal C-3PO figure attached to his front while Daniels read his lines off camera. The puppeteer was erased from the film during post-production. Kenny Baker as R2-D2, an astromech droid that saves Queen Amidala's ship when other droids fail. Before the film's production started, fans campaigned on the internet to retain Baker as R2-D2. Lucas replied that the actor would remain. Baker is used for scenes where R2-D2 bends forwards and backwards and wobbles from side to side. Robots and a digital model were used in other shots. Terence Stamper, Supreme Chancellor Valorum, the current Chancellor who commissions Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to negotiate with the Trade Federation Viceroy. Lucas described the character as a good man but he's beleaguered, a bit like Bill Clinton. Additionally, Samuel L. Jackson appears as Mace Windu, a high-ranking member of the Jedi Council who also opposes the training of Anakin. Ray Park portrays Darth Maul, a Zabrak warrior, and Darth Sidious, a Sith apprentice who uses a double-bladed lightsaber, while Peter Serafinovich provides Maul's voice. Keira Knightley plays Sabe, one of Queen Amidala's handmaidens who serves as her decoy throughout the majority of the film. Silas Carson portrays Newt Gunray, the Viceroy of the Trade Federation who leads Naboo's invasion and tries to force Queen Amidala to sign a treaty to legitimize the occupation. Carson also portrays 3 minor characters: Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, Trade Federation Senator Lot Dot, and an ill-fated pilot, Brian Blessed, Andy Secombe, and Lewis MacLeod voice, respectively, Boss Nath, the leader of the Gungan tribe who allies with the Naboo Wata. a junk dealer on Tatooine who owns Anakin and his mother as slaves, and Sebulba, an aggressive, scheming Padracer who is Anakin's rival. In addition, Greg Proops and Scott Capurro voice Fodder and Bede, the two-headed announcer of the Boone Tarif race. Also, Sofia Coppola appears as Sake, one of Amidala's handmaidens, and Ralph Brown appears as Rico L.I. Acute, the Queen's starship pilot.